I picked this TT up last summer, 1926 C cab with a flatbed. Very cool truck. Still 6-volt with coils. It's got some issues. It's got a leaky head gasket and some other things I want to take care of. So I got it into the shop. I'm going to start doing some repair and maintenance on it before I start driving it too much more. I've got a few things going on here that I'm going to try to repair. You can see where the head gasket's been leaking there. The fan hub is no good anymore. It's making noise. I got to replace the fan hub. Going to replace the fan belt. Also going to replace the manifold gasket, which is kind of hard to see. But that white you see in there, it's just a paper gasket. So I don't need to remove the radiator for these jobs, but I do need to drain the radiator. This is also the vehicle I used that bar stop leak stuff to fix a small leak I had in the radiator. So it'll be interesting to see if any of that comes out when I drain it. I don't see anything yet. I see a little bit of silver flake down in there now. Can you see that flake? So when I put it in, it did stop the leak. So I'm guessing that most of what I put in is still inside the radiator and plugging the leak. This must be just residual stuff that was just in the system. To save money, I'm going to filter that stuff and put it right back in when I'm done. Doesn't really matter what I remove first, so I guess I'll take the head off first. See the sparkly stuff? And here and there. When I lifted the head up, some residual coolant drained out and down on top of the block into the cylinder. So now the carburetor has to come off, and then the manifolds come off. Earlier I was referring to the paper gaskets on these manifolds. That's kind of what I'm talking about right there. They just aren't a very good product. They don't seal very well. I mean, they're supposed to be, you know, more or less heat proof, but they really aren't. They kind of get a little bit burnt and warped and crispy. So I'm going to replace those with all metal gaskets. I'll show you. Look at that. That is incredible. So at some point, somebody's done some work to this engine, updated the pistons at least. These are aluminum pistons. They were originally cast iron. They're also domed, where Model T pistons were originally just flat. And these are 60 over, as indicated by the stamp on the top there. Easy. These are the new manifold gaskets. I like to put these together on the bench beforehand. All right, let me show you something. This is the exhaust manifold. So these 4 ports are supposed to line up with the exhaust port on the engine block. And all 4 of those holes are in a perfectly straight line. I've got the straight edge aligned from the front port to the back port, but look here in the middle. This is the worst manifold that I've seen. I mean, we're not even in the ballpark. We're talking, what, 3/16 of an inch off? Yeah, about 3/16. No wonder why I couldn't get it back on. This is actually semi-common for a Model T. If you have an engine that runs excessively hot, these manifolds are going to be the first thing to warp. But clearly this one was overheated many times in the past before I got this vehicle. Okay, here's the old one. Again, we're looking right here and right here. See how far off that is? Now here's the new one. See how the straight edge lines up perfectly with the bottom of the ports all the way across? I'm looking in between the manifold and the block as I tighten these down. See right down in there. I want to make sure that these washers are crushed evenly all the way down. Yeah, I can't get a good shot of it. That was the hard part. Now for the carburetor. Here's the old timer. Old timer, get it? Pretty well done for. Looks like it's had a long life. That's supposed to be round in there, by the way. And the new timer. This is a different style. Built very well, easy to install, and they're durable. So I like to use these. The only thing I really need to do before I install this timer is put some dielectric grease on the contacts and on the flapper. Just a dab on the end of each of the tabs there. There we go, that should last us a good while. And I'll go put some on the flapper and it'll be ready to install. Okay, so the timer is installed. Before I put the fan on,
I'm gonna check the static timing because this is a brand new timer and I didn't even check the old one. So we want to make sure that that's in the ballpark, and it's just easier to deal with down there if the fan is off. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to use this stick to help me determine top dead center. Okay, that's about top dead center. I'll make a mark. Doesn't really matter where the mark is, just so I can have a point of reference. I'm also going to make a second mark for myself. Okay. I have no idea where it is in the rotation. So I'm going to put my thumb over it and wait to feel pressure. I felt pressure right there. There I can see the piston. It's almost on the top. Right there. Okay, that's top dead center on the compression stroke. So I'm going to reconnect the spark plug and lay it on the head, somewhere I can actually see it. All right, let me turn these lights off. We are looking right there. So I'm going to turn the key on. It shouldn't buzz just yet because it's at top dead center. We want the spark plug to fire just a little bit after top dead center. So I'm going to turn the key on and rotate the engine, see what we get. If we're in the ballpark, it should start buzzing soon. Okay, take two. Top dead center achieved. Turn off the light. Okay, watch the spark plug. This time it should fire shortly after I begin to rotate the engine past top dead center. Here we go. Perfect. I wonder if the timing has always been off, or if it was just a new timer was different, or maybe a little bit of both. I'm gonna run a couple cans of this through the fuel system just to see if it might clean up the intake valves on the inside where I couldn't get to. It's not gonna hurt anyway. Right in there is where I had that leak before and stopped with the bars leaks. And it's still working. Even after I drained the radiator and refilled it, it's still working. So that's good to know. Well, this job is done and in the history books.